What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel. Today we're for a new Madden 23 rebuild. I don't know if I can say realistic because I'm doing obviously this rebuild in light of recent news that's kind of made an interesting rounds the NFL the last week or so, and that is involving the Washington Commanders and the Indianapolis Colts. So I'm just showing you right now, this is the free agency for the Commanders. Hasn't been that great, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't, as a Philadelphia Eagle fan, I'm not really worried about the Commanders next season. Unless they have a new quarterback that's excited to take a garbage roughing the passer penalty, they're probably, going to be solid, but I don't know, with, Gates, Wiley, bringing in Cody Barton, if that's enough. But there were reports that the Washington Commanders were calling around for a bunch of quarterbacks around the league, and one name that popped up was Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck, quarterback left in his prime, a lot of good football left. A lot of people thought that, maybe he was just sick and tired of the Indianapolis Colts organization and not putting talent around him, wanted to prioritize his health, like smart guy, went to Stanford, yada, yada, yada. But it's always been, can Andrew Luck be tempted out of retirement? And then you take the Commanders, got brand new ownership, right? What bigger of a splash versus, trading a bunch of picks to draft a quarterback than to get probably the best, I don't want to say realistic from the sense of I think he'll come back. I think he's done. But I mean realistic from the standpoint of like age, talent, and out of the guys that are out of the league, what quarterbacks, if they returned, would have the highest chance of success. I think you'd probably put Andrew Luck near the top of that list. He's the unicorn you're chasing if you are looking for a quarterback. So that's exactly what we did. I created Andrew Luck. I gave him his last rating, which was in Madden 19 from the Indianapolis Colts. It's actually 87. Didn't line up with this year's game. I don't know. Somehow I got an 86, but we'll take that as our 1-point regression. I didn't want to nuke him too much. I think, starting as a 32-year-old quarterback, we'll probably just face the natural regression of Madden sooner than later. So I feel like let's give him a decent starting point. We'll give him the superstar dev, not an X factor or anything super crazy like that. But we'll see how long we can go. I don't know. At 32, are we going to get a full 5 years out of this rebuild? Is it only going to be 3 years? And I also felt like something that was fair is we're only going to give him a 1-year deal. So that we're going to have to figure out his contract on the books. Just because I didn't want to get too deep into what the Colts contract is and all that different stuff. So I gave him just a 1-year, $20 million deal. And then if he's good, which this is the whole freaking point of the video, we are going to re-sign him this first offseason to likely, a pretty big, probably going to be around $100 million. But that is it. So let's get through the 2023 NFL draft the exact same players that the Commanders drafted, Manuel Forbes, etc., and then get into year one of this Andrew Luck tampering Washington Commanders rebuild. And here's a look at the Commanders draft. Now, I couldn't get KJ Henry, which was a little bit annoying. But, I was like, am I going to redo the draft just because of a 68 normal dev D-end? Probably not. So look at the rest of it. We got Chris Rodriguez out of, not Abilene Christian. He was Kentucky. We got Ricky Stromberg, the center out of Arkansas. One of my favorite centers in this year's draft class. I actually think that's he's probably going to start for us. Braden Daniels, the guard. Also, I hate to say it, really, and I will say I also like the KJ Henry selection. Was a former big-time recruit at Clemson. Thought that was a nice value pick. Just in the big picture of this rebuild, he's not going to play ever. We got Montez Sweat. We got Chase Young. That's a tough room. But I like that pick. I like KJ Henry. I like Ricky Stromberg. I like Braden Daniels a lot. Very versatile, athletic lineman from Utah. 71 overall. Might start for us as well. There could be 2 starters in the mid-round. They got Jartavius Quan Martin, 72. And he actually popped with a hidden dev in this draft class, which is nice. We're going to move him. He's going to be a corner for us. He's going to be our nickel corner because Cam Curl and Forrest are going to be our 2 safeties. So he goes from 72 to 72, stays as is. And then Emmanuel Forbes was a highly scrutinized pick for this draft class. Bengal gave him normal dev. I'd probably give him a star just, based off of, pure ball production in college. He's also a very generous 180 pounds. I think he was 166. But I didn't think that was that bad of a pick. I think, maybe him being the second corner drafting him with Christian Gonzalez still on the board could end up being maybe overthinking it a little bit, but he was a first-round corner for me all damn day. I'm annoyed. I was annoyed, generally speaking. I don't think they got a lot of S-tier talent, but the Commanders in this draft Got a lot of players that I do think are going to have solid NFL careers. So that was a little bit annoying. So let's take this draft class with Andrew Luck and see where the trajectory of this Commanders team is going to go starting in year 1 of this rebuild. Who's looking at our depth chart going into year 1? We got Andrew Luck under center. QB12 is back. Looking good, man. Looking slim, looking ready to go. Best shape of his life. Type, background. We're going to go Robinson, Gibson. Nice 1-2 punch there. Scary Terry, John Dotson, and Samuel as our skill position players. Definitely need to upgrade tight end. Offensive line, not in love with it. But, you know, just because, you know, we got so many normal devs, right? Like, if these were 71 stars, 75 star, I'd be like, you know what? Fine. Those guys will develop nice. But the fact they're normal dev is so hard to get dev trait for linemen. You know, we might need to invest on the offensive line throughout this rebuild versus just like gambling and sticking with and developing the young guys. On the defense, one thing I did differently than the Commanders is I did pick up the 5th-year option on Chase Young because he's obviously at least a lot better and a lot more available when you have injuries off in a Madden rebuild. So the front 4 is very good, in a very good spot here. We're going to have linebacker. We are definitely a linebacker short, but primarily we're going to go Barton and Davis as our 2 starting linebackers, especially when we run nickel. We got Forrest and Curl at safety, Fuller, Dantzler, Emmanuel Forbes. See, the question, I got to make Forbes a start. Dantzler is way better in Madden than he is in real life. There's a reason why the Vikings got rid of him. Now, it's still a very nice utility piece for us to have, a 77 start. I think he's only 24, 25 years old. But, you know, obviously I want to get a little bit more focus, a little bit more opportunities for the first-round pick here. Not only just to get on the field and make some plays and get those interceptions that he had in college and translate that to the NFL, but we also need him to get out there. So hopefully he has a chance at Defensive Rookie of the Year and getting off that normal dev. The Canadian Ben St. Juste, 75, he's solid. And then we got Barton here. We're going to start with us in the slot just because, you know, get a hidden dev rookie. But a lot of depth here, a lot of interesting battles in this Commander secondary, which, I mean, in Madden and in real life, I mean, maybe, you know, if we figure out there's maybe a trade, you know, we got De'Ami Brown, start of wide receiver. Like, we got some guys that, like, honestly, we could, you know, Gibson, Brown, one of those corners. Like, honestly, Dantzler, like, those could be guys we could look at potentially trading. Question would be, where would I want to upgrade? The offensive line? Like, let me think about this. So we're trying to maximize our assets. These are guys that just, you know, weren't going to really play for us, but had some value. So we're going to send De'Ami Brown, Cam Dantzler, and our 4th-round pick this year to the Arizona Cardinals. Get the Cardinals' 3rd-round pick this year and 3rd-round pick next season. And then we're able to find a guy that I would love to see develop as our tight end. We're sending Antonio Gibson, 77 star dev, to the Baltimore Ravens for Isaiah Likely, 72. I think he's actually a normal dev, but he's going to be thrusted into the starting tight end position. I think there's a lot of upside there. He looked pretty damn good last year for the Ravens with not great quarterback play, filling in for Mark Andrews. So, TE1 for our backup running back. It makes more sense when you look at it from a depth chart standpoint versus just Madden ratings. So take that back. Isaiah Likely is a star dev. Let's go. All right, a big week here. Midweek, we're coming off a nice victory over the Dolphins. It is an absolute bloodbath of an NFC East where 6-5 is usually enough to have you like a game or two back. Which, I mean, I guess we are a game or two back. But we're also tied for last place in the division. It's very, very tight, very, very competitive. We have 2 breakouts here. First up is for a defensive back. It is for Direct Force at safety. That'd be nice to get him up to at least a star. He's on a normal dev. Really, really nice safety out of Cincinnati. Now we have a breakout quarterback scenario for Andrew Luck, looking to make the jump from superstar to X Factor, which means he's been playing well in the sim. You don't get that if you've been average. It'll be very difficult to get against the Philadelphia Eagles, but might as well trigger it anyways and see if he can. Let's look at some contracts here. Salary cap. Well, I know we got an Andrew Luck contract we got to figure out. What else do we need to do? We might as well start with Andrew Luck first because that's really the point of this rebuild. So let's get him 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. We stay like you're 36. Hey, there we go. And it wasn't brutal. Wasn't cheap. Wasn't brutal. Let's get Kendall Fuller here on a 2-year deal. Let's get Cam Curl here on a 4-year deal. I'm liking that all these guys are kind of buying in. Riverboat Ron got them all here. I think Curtis Samuel's a guy that we can look at probably upgrading upon. He's solid. He's a nice utility piece. Not really utilizing that utility a whole lot with our playbook in the sim. And I think that having that $38 million maybe go to a guy that's going to be like a legit wide receiver 2, like legitimate on the outside, where you can keep Jahan Dotson in the slot and develop him up nicely. But get someone else that's, almost on the equal. Can we make this offense overpowered? That's what I'm trying to talk about there. We got Montez Sweat on the defense. 3-year deal for sure. I'm surprised he's down to a star dev. Maybe not surprised, but a little bit surprised. Norwell is our top lineman. That's also pretty expensive, but we'll keep him on a 1-year deal. He probably has 1 more year left till his regression kind of, just destroys him. So that's where we'll be. Probably around $30-35 million once we get the additional money. Maybe look at bringing in a big-time wide receiver in free agency, because you get some good free agency roles at the wide receiver room, the wide receiver spot, year 1, year 2 of these rebuilds. Holy shit. We beat the Eagles 44-22. Andrew Luck, 4 touchdowns. Oh, he might have got it. We might have X Factor. 4 touchdowns. Was it 0 interceptions, though? Like, this is going to be probably the closest. Holy shit. Wow! We earned an X Factor. That is, if not the second time, maybe the first time we've done that at Madden 23, getting an X Factor for the quarterback spot. We also had a breakout here for Derek Forrest. Unfortunately, did not get that, but getting X Factor on Andrew Luck in season in a sim game over the Eagles, it was, I thought we might have lost it there. The interception, 364 yards, 4 touchdowns. It's not the first time he's got it. I believe he got it earlier in the year. Right there, week 4. Also hit it. 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. And we're getting, like, okay rushing numbers from him as well, which is weird because, you wouldn't really think of the Commanders having much of a scrambling playbook. But that is truly gigantic. For a quarterback of his age, obviously we're not going to be, whatever he is at right now, 86, 87 overall. He's probably not going to break back up into the 90 threshold. But what that X Factor will do is help us, maintain that rating. You know what I'm saying? Like, versus when you get hit to that 2-3 point regression, we're going to be able to make up that ground a little bit more with that dev trait and that extra XP. That's huge, man. Let's go. And year 1 couldn't have gone any better, even if we missed out on the playoffs. Because we were at one point looking, outside looking in. Getting the X Factor for Andrew Luck would have been enough. Didn't win the division, but we came second place. Kind of sandwiched in there between the Cowboys and the Eagles. 11-6. Which is like, if you told me Andrew Luck wasn't going to be washed and was able to make a return to the NFL and was going to be somewhat similar to what he was when he left the Colts, given the talent that is on the Commanders roster, I would believe 11-6. That'd be their ceiling. Like, I'd probably say they're probably like 8-9 wins, maybe a little bit slow, might take them a little bit to get adjusted. But obviously the talent is there. Looking at the stats, Andrew Luck, 50! 50! What? 50? 50? 50? Do we put the Bucks playbook on? Okay, we're just Riverboat Ron. 50! Now, I'm not going to get, I want to get, that's obviously ridiculous. He needs to do that every year. I mean, at his age, he's going to regress probably a little bit. He needs to, if he gets 50, he better not come back next year with 29. I better see 38 minimum touchdowns for him the next 2 years of this rebuild. 50! Andrew Luck, welcome back to the NFL. 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns there for Brian Robinson Jr. Solid. We got 90 catches, 1,400 yards, 16 touchdowns, Scary Terry. Isaiah Likely, what a trade that we were able to strike with the Baltimore Ravens. Antonio Gibson, maybe you thought I got ripped off there. Likely 99 catches, leading the team, 1,100 yards and 5 touchdowns. We had 11 and 14 for Jahan Dotson. Even Curtis Samuel, letting him walk. He was productive. 12 touchdowns, almost 1,000 yards. Defensively, Jamin Davis led the team, 135 tackles, 4 interceptions. Get over 100 tackles there for Cody Barton. 12.5 sacks, Montez Sweat. 9.5 for Chase Young. 8 for Deron Page. 7 for John Allen. Not bad. And for the interceptions, 4 for Davis, 4 for Fuller, 2 for Ja Martin. Would have liked to see maybe Forbes have a little bit. I don't think he's going to be getting Defensive Rookie of the Year. But Andrew Luck, in his first year back in the league with the Commanders, probably should be the MVP. What? 50? I can tell you right now, they probably got it with the rushing numbers. But 50 for Andrew Luck. Yeah, what? Okay, Dak and Lamar. Just out of curiosity, because I'm so... Dak went for 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. So he had 50, you know, okay, in the ballpark, I guess. What about Lamar? Lamar had 36 and 3, and then holy shit, went for yeah, okay. All right. Not a robbery. I think I still should have got it. Within the context of everything, you probably still should have gave it to the guy that came out of retirement and made it completely irrelevant franchise relevant, but maybe that's just me. Look at the rest of the award winners, seeing if we have any Commanders. Unfortunately, it's not looking well. Best quarterback goes to Andrew Luck. Doesn't even need it, though, because he already got the X Factor. All right. What do we got here in the playoffs? Rams. Well, let's not have this ridiculous season followed up with a one and done, and we're able to handle business. 28-24 over the LA Rams in the first round of the playoffs. Punch our ticket, take on the Eagles. NFC East matchup. Not bad. 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. Andrew Luck. Maybe not necessarily 50 touchdowns type pace, but a good enough pace that we're optimistic against Philly. Philly's a juggernaut, best roster in the NFL. Damn. I mean, when you look at it, man, our offensive line still really needs to come a long way. You know, that's really the big hiccup here a little bit. Ooh, Andrew Luck. 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. That's not clean football. I mean, in a game, too, that was what, 1 score? We got 2 interceptions. They had 0. That's often going to be the deciding factor right there. So we crashed and burned a little bit, but hey, we went on a run. And let's, you know, again, at this point, I just don't want to see next year Andrew Luck have like 29 touchdowns, 14 picks, something stupid like that. Best Andrew dropping a 50 bomb and leading the Commanders to the #1 offense in the NFL. And in closing, at year #1, here's a look at our dev traits. Andrew Luck got his X Factor. I thought maybe there was a chance Jahan Dotson could go up, but we did get Isaiah Likely up to a superstar. What a deal that was to strike. I mean, hell, he was on the trade block from the Ravens. We didn't just target him. He was there for the taking. Very much rather that on our offense than, say, having, like, you know, two running backs, 2 viable running backs with Robinson and Antonio Gibson. On the defensive side, as it relates to depth traits, we lost the X Factor on Jonathan Allen, which sucks. We gained a star dev somehow on Force. I don't think he really had. He kind of had like a mid-season. And I mean, really, the only depth trait I wanted was, okay, I'd say maybe an X Factor on Chase Young, but I definitely wanted to get Emmanuel Forbes off normal dev, but he didn't. He only had 1 interception this year. So that was kind of difficult, but hey, X Factor for Andrew Luck, and Likely is developing into a really, really nice weapon for us. And he's a notable player. We'll highlight it. We're just, now it's my turn with the roster. We're not starting with the realistic roster. So I'm going to clean some fat here. Logan Thomas, you know, nice success story going from converted quarterback to like a, you know, legit tight end for the Commanders. But given the breakout of Isaiah Likely, we could use this money elsewhere. So thank you very much for your service. And for free agency, I mean, we don't have crazy money. We have enough money to spend, but we also are going to have a very expensive, you know, re-signing period next to, you know, Chase Young, guys like that. So it's not going to be the worst thing to have a lot of cap room available. I was really looking for a big name wide receiver, maybe someone that was enticing, and it's just the usual suspects: Pittman, Ayuk, Brown, and Davis. I mean, maybe there's some cool fans here wondering what Andrew Luck and Michael Pittman would look together, but there's 0 interest, which means I'd have to overpay for Michael Pittman. So as it stands here, gonna kind of just chill in free agency this year and roll this salary cap over. So with our first pick, we got some options here. It's actually a good year to look for offensive linemen, but there's always the argument that we might be able to wait a little bit for linemen, because I mean, we got left and right tackle, but Leno's not getting any younger. We got Hunt, looks like the best, but usually when you get these guys, I bet his bench press sucks. Bench press is terrible. Yeah, so that's what we get. When you usually see a lineman that's still available that has like really, really good letter grades, I guarantee his bench press sucks. He's gonna have like probably like 75 strength or something like that. Like sometimes, you know, that's not really gonna work into your favor too much. This guy looks outrageous. Shane Shepard, we did scout him a little bit. Double A's and a B, 3rd, 4th round. Maybe we'll come back there. We did scout Matt Flynn. I was just enticed by the bench press. Double A's and a B, C run block, maybe not the best. 6'6", 330. But 38 reps on the bench press, elite strength. That's probably the leader right now for this first pick. Other needs, we do need a linebacker to kind of fill out the linebacking room. Couple guys, like maybe we can wait and get a little bit of value, but it's a tough one. We also need wide receiver to replace Curtis Samuel. And we did our homework on one wide receiver because, you know, if you're looking for, I'm not going to say necessarily cheese per se, but the deep threat archetype wide receivers are usually your safest bet. And this guy looks really, really good. Lorenzo rushing out of Michigan. B catching, A deep route running, B release, elite speed, elite excel. So the question would be, can I trade back in and get him? Because he's second, third round. That's a little bit of reach in the first round. We can go grab our tackle here, which this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab this tackle in the first round. He will be likely, oh, fuck, you want the dev there, man. He'll likely be like our Charles Leno replacement. Leno might retire this year or next year. If not, we can just shuffle this guy around, find a way to get him on the offensive line somewhere. And people are blowing my phone because they know I just made a shitty pick. We got to get that wide receiver in the second round. So we're able to make a deal here. We're able to send our second round pick and Sam Howell to the Commanders, who need a new quarterback. They don't even have Geno Smith on their roster. Now, there may be some people saying, C4, can we get a Sam Howell Commanders rebuild? I already did it. When I rebuilt the Commanders way back in the beginning of the Madden cycle, I was like, you know what? I like Sam Howell coming to North Carolina. Let's do it. And we actually went with him as our starting quarterback. So you guys can go check that out. Maybe in line with what might happen in real life with the Commanders if they truly give him the opportunity to be their starting quarterback this season. But with that trade, we're going to be able to go grab the wide receiver, who I will say I'm a little worried that he's going to be another like high rating, no dev trait player. But he's best player on our board at a position of need. Can't buy a dev trait. I mean, even counting Emmanuel Forbes, first round pick last year, normal dev. Damn, at least we didn't overpay too much. Wasn't like we traded like multiple first round picks or anything crazy like that. Come on, still chasing a dev, best looking linebacker. We have Jonathan Sims, A zone coverage, B pursuit, 6'2", 232. Pretty good athlete, elite agility, elite jumping. There we go, finally a dev. This one on that guard that we scouted earlier, but there's still a pretty decent one here in Douglas Kirkpatrick, just BPA, double A's, which is always nice looking value there. Elite change of direction for whatever that's worth. And there we go, we're starting to fill out here with some day 3 dev traits. So take a look at our draft recap. While we didn't get the dev traits we wanted with our top picks, both pretty solid. Flynn, 74 normal dev at tackle, rushing 78 normal dev at wide receiver, which, I mean, that right there is really nice because he's already, what, 4 points less than Curtis Samuel, both on normal devs, and he's way cheaper. Sims, our middle linebacker, we're going to kick him to outside linebacker here in the third round, 72 with a hidden dev. Kirkpatrick, 72 with a hidden dev. We got a couple other depth guys, 70 kicker, which will start for us next season. So not bad, but really would have liked to see at least one of these two guys of our top picks coming with a dev. About the midway point, we got a breakout deviance for Emmanuel Forbes. This is an important one. This is probably right after Andrew Luck getting X Factor. The one guy that I want to see go up dev would be Forbes because he's, you know, the highlight of the 2023 class. Stuck on a normal dev. We'll also, I mean, obviously it just kind of sim through the scouting. I mean, what am I really looking for here? Thinking about who's going to be free agents, thinking about the rest of the roster. I guess defensive end in case contracts go south here with Chase Young. I mean, we're sitting in a pretty good spot. Let's look at these contracts here. And up first is going to be Chase Young. Very reasonable contract. Get him for the rest of this rebuild. An insane value. There's no other way around it. Charles Leno, we could probably let him walk because we drafted his replacement at tackle. Direct Force, it's important for us to keep him. We'll get him on a 4-year deal. Keep him for the rest of the rebuild. Still got $69 million. Jamin Davis, a linebacker. I think he's coming along nice. Again, very reasonable contract. All these guys, I think, going below market value to stay here. I think Cosme, I'd rather keep Cosme at tackle. 25 years old. I mean, I can see this guy if we go year 5, capping out like 83, 84, 85. That's more than serviceable enough for a long-term lineman. So we'll definitely come back on the table for him. Other than that, though, we're going to be rolling into free agency again with a lot of money. Hopefully there's someone there that can tempt us enough to spend it. All right, sim this one. Let's see if Forbes can get his dev trade. It is a loss against the Steelers, but if we can get this dev, yes, sir, Emmanuel Forbes. I'll take that. I'll lose to the Steelers to get Forbes up a dev. And year 2 finishes with a kind of ugly record, but we win the NFC East, 9-8 for the Commanders here, where we went from the number 1 offense last year to the number 15th offense. That drop off that I was I'm not going to say terrified. I was almost expecting, but the drop-off that I didn't want to see, 50 touchdowns for Andrew Luck. 42 and 5,000. I mean, he's still playing. He's good. That's not a significant enough drop-off to me to be like, first year was, an outlier, an anomaly. 5,000 yards, 42 touchdowns. Incredible for Andrew Luck. He's almost at 100 passing touchdowns in 2 seasons since returning back to the league. We got 1,000 yards, 7 tutties there. Brian Robinson, he also had 4 rushing touchdowns for Drew Luck. Scary Terry, 1,300 yards, 9 tutties. 12 and 12 for Jahan Dotson. 9-9 for Isaiah Likely. 7-6 for the rookie Lorenzo Rushing. I don't know if that's going to be good enough to get him Offensive Rookie of the Year, because that would be cool because he was normal dev, but we will see. Defensively, Jamin Davis, Cody Barton, and John Martin all go over 100 tackles. We had 12 sacks, Chase Young, 11.5 from John Allen. Montez Sweat, a little bit of a disappointing season. Emmanuel Forge with 3 picks. And take a look at his shiny star dev trade. Happy with that, as he's now up to an 80 overall. Looking at the yearly awards, MVP goes to Josh Allen. Andrew Luck coming in number 3 in the NFC. Looking for some Commanders. Rushing way down there. 5. Quarterback of the year goes to Andrew Luck. Cool. That's fine. I'm fine with that. We're not going to get too greedy. This rebuild is focused around Andrew Luck, and the fact that he's been easily our best player so far, it's kind of awesome. First round, tough matchup against the 49ers. Fuck me. Moving on. Okay, looking at our dev traits. Sims was hidden dev as a rookie linebacker. He came out as a star. Jonathan Allen, backup to an X factor. That is it on the defensive side. Offensively, though, got a couple big ones. Jahan Dotson goes from star to superstar. Isaiah Likely from superstar up to an X factor. Again, what a trade, a heist that we pulled off. Or free agency. Well, if we didn't have Isaiah Likely breaking out, I probably would have went all in on Kyle Pitts. Amon-Ra St. Brown, also an interesting option, but we've used him time and time again here in these rebuilds. So, honestly, there's no other hole. We could go on the O-line. If there was a big splash pad on the offensive line, I think I would, but it's all, just veterans. Again, not a good free agency period for what we need to spend our cap on. So it's better just to roll it over and make sure we keep the guys on our roster here in the building. All right, so going to this draft, not a lot of, again, I think our roster's at a decent spot right now. You can go BPA, especially when you get double A on a pass rusher like this. He looks pretty solid. Is he ever going to sniff the field, though? We got Montez Sweat. We got Chase Young locked in. So I was kind of thinking, our needs, we still need a center. There are a couple centers in this year's draft. We do a first-round center. 3 Bs and an A. Shepard, probably day 1 starter for us. Elite, change of direction. Pretty good. Is that where the best value is at? There's also, again, trying to increase the depth and the talent of the linebacker. Look at this. Tyler Fleck, 3 A's and a B. Pretty good combine. None of these guys are having that S-tier combine that we're really looking for to be that is 100% clearly the guy we need to select. So I'm thinking we'll go, this guy just looks a little bit better, and then we'll grab a center later on. Tyler Fleck, welcome to the Commanders. I think the best center is Cam Burrell. Double A's and a B. Don't know the run blocking there. 6'4", 300 pounds. Elite, change of direction. I'm in. I am in. Hidden dev. Let's go. So take a look at our draft recap. Top heavy draft after our first 2 picks. Kind of phoned it in a little bit. Didn't love the rest of the board. We computer hooked us up with a 70 overall. But happy. 2 hidden devs. We got Fleck here, 76. And a 74 for Burrell. Burrell likely is going to start. And Fleck probably is also going to start. And long-term, Cody Barton's get up there in age a little bit. Probably close to his ceiling. So I think Fleck is going to be, along with Jamin Davis, our linebacking room to really close out this rebuild. Midway point of year 3. Year 3 is always the kind of random, weird year. We're 4-5, which is definitely a little bit below our standards. We did get a nice victory over the Dallas Cowboys. Anytime we take that, that's a morale booster. 39-35. Take a look at our contracts. This is kind of how our free agency has gone. It's this is our free agency. This is where we do our damage. And luckily, we have more than enough money to pretty much pick and choose whoever we want to bring back. So we're going to start first up. Isaiah Likely absolutely has earned that contract. He's been simply incredible since we brought him here. If you're looking for a tight end in your Madden franchises, he's probably going to be available. He's probably going to be on the trade block for the Baltimore Ravens. Go out and get him. He is outstanding. We got Jonathan Allen here, 1-year deal. Honestly, I'll probably give him 2 years just to keep him here for the remainder of the rebuild. Same with Kendall Fuller. He's not regressed at all. He's been 88 since we started this. So that's sick. Might as well continue on the journey of Brian Robinson. I don't know what it is. But like these contracts we're getting, maybe it's the new ownership of the Commanders, but we're getting like, yes, easy, super. Why, you'd be crazy not to pay them that price. Honestly, this John Allen contract is probably the biggest, maybe the most, like, that's a little expensive contract we've had. There's whole rebuild. Everyone else that we wanted to re-sign, I'm thinking is coming below market value. So we'll get John Allen signed for another 2 years, keep him here for the remainder of the rebuild, and still roll into free agency with a bunch of money if there's someone worth buying. Year 3, yeah, right on cue. It's been a minute. I think the last couple of rebuilds, year 3 hasn't been a shit show. Back to being a shit show. 7-10 for some reason. Bet you Andrew Luck played like shit. I mean, I like the fact that he's pretty much been able to get 5,000 yards every year, but definitely not his best season. Brian Robinson, 16 touchdowns is pretty good. 14-8 for Scary Terry. 12-5 for rushing. 9-10 for Likely. 8-8 for Jahan Dotson. So, I mean, not brutal numbers there. Fleck, the rookie, led the team in tackles. 127. That's pretty cool. 10.5 sacks. Montez Sweat, 9 from Chase Young. So sacks are down a little bit. Jatavius Martin led the team. 3 interceptions. Prior to that, 2023 rookie class. Yearly awards. Of course, it's whoever the Bucs draft at quarterback. I don't think we're going to... Ooh, all right, we'll take that defensive rookie of the year, Tyler Fleck. I actually don't know what his dev trade is, so that likely will be a dev trade increase. Hopefully it's superstar. If not, he likely will become a superstar. We'll sim right away here to the offseason because who cares about these loser playoffs? As everyone knows, year 3 playoffs, if our team that we're rebuilding is not in it, no one cares. No one cares anyways what the other teams are. I only care what we're doing. But this year 3, Mickey Mouse title. If you win a Super Bowl year 3, it's Mickey Mouse. It's not legit. Everyone knows it's super random. Doesn't make any sense. Should be asterisked in the record books. Look how long the sim takes. Look how long the sim takes. It's broken. Fuck, I might have crashed. I don't know. Is this the end of the video? Like, I literally won't skip past this. What the fuck, Madden? It's May! Yeah, bricked. This is how we're gonna have to end the video. Not just to show off. Got some new swag here. Got a new AJ Brown jersey. Got a new Eagles hat. But I can't finish this. I can't recreate what we achieved with Andrew Luck. I can't recreate him hitting an X Factor, him hitting 50 touchdowns. Can't recreate the roster that we had. That's the pain of being a Madden franchise content creator in the landscape of Madden 23. At least if you're an Ultimate Team guy and they've had their issues this year, but if I had $3,000 spent into my Ultimate Team, which is already a tax write-off, I could just spend and write off another $3,000 and remake that team and remake that content. It wouldn't be the end of the world. Here, while there's no direct investment of money, you can't recreate a franchise mode. You just can't. And the fact that it's been so prevalent, I'm not saying it's the same issue. I would like to give somewhat credit to the Madden team that, the issue that was causing franchise modes to brick and crash and all that stuff in December has been fixed. And maybe what I'm experiencing now, this is the second time that it's happened in the last 3 weeks where it just gets stuck. And luckily the last time was going into year 6. The last rebuild, I didn't even have to show it because I was year 5 and it was a year 5 where we just didn't even make the playoffs. And I was like, screw it, let's do a year 6. And it bricked then. This year, it bricked year 3. And I guess at least my expectations coming into this with Andrew Luck is maybe we only get 3 years. So then he retires or something like that. So, I mean, it's not how I want to end this, but I figure we can at least add a little bit of... I made this post a couple minutes ago, and the middle is what I want to talk about. It's the monkey's paw of Madden. We'll say Madden 17, 18, 19, 20. We'll kind of put that as the parameters that was the years and the releases of Madden franchise mode that spawned the hashtag fix Madden franchise, where we got responses from the people that work there we got to do better, we're going to invest. So Madden went from the same shit every year. We need new features, we need all these old features to come back. But you know what? It works. Madden franchise modes 90-95% of the time you could play them. They wouldn't get bricked. They wouldn't get ruined. They wouldn't get destroyed. I probably went full Madden cycles. Madden 17, Madden 18. I didn't have a single crash. And as a franchise content creator, that's more important than having features. I need to know that when I end a video, I'm going to be able to load from the same spot. It's going to work reliably, and I'm going to be able to continue this series that I have 30 episodes invested in, and I have an entire community that is enjoying. Like, I need that. So the monkey's paw was that Madden went from the same shit every year, but at least it works, to like, all right, we're going to finally invest some resources into franchise mode. We have Deuce Douglas on the team, who, out of any person that has ever made a Madden franchise wish list, here are what Madden needs to add in franchise modes, Deuce Douglas is the most qualified person from the Madden franchise community that could be working in Madden to try to achieve what we want in franchise mode. He's working there. You're starting to slowly see some of the features. It wasn't going to be something that was going to happen overnight, but like knowing that you got that guy in the building that is going to do whatever he can to fight for franchise mode, that's definitely reassuring. So we're finally starting to get a little bit more attention to franchise mode, but the monkey's paw is, well, psych! There's going to be a 50-50 chance something from Madden's end will kill your franchise file. And I've had it happen twice in the last 3 weeks. It's something else, right? Like, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they fixed and patched, right? It was at the draft, right? Your draft would get bricked. You'd get stuck in this loop of the draft, and that was it. Your franchise mode's gone. You got to restart. And then they did this whole thing where like it was a server reset. They could only save 50% of the franchises, and now whatever the hell's going on with this, it's the monkey's paw. We got new features, but now Madden doesn't work. And Madden being unreliable as a franchise content creator, it's painful, man. Again, we don't. It's not like Ultimate Team where it's definitely no more acceptable that like people that play Ultimate Team, they might lose some of their stuff. But at least in terms of like a content creator, what you guys are seeing behind the scenes, that's just a write-off to get back what they lost. In actual franchise, there's nothing you can do. You just kind of got to eat it on the chin, and that's it. So rolling this into Madden 24, I'm terrified. Like, I'm not an anxious person at all. I was anxious. I was on eggshells every time I hit the offseason with our Carolina Panthers franchise mode, because at any point, it could be gone. And who knows what the state of Madden 24 is going to be when it releases. Usually issues from the previous Madden, some of them squeak through to the next Madden, because Madden 24 was built on the Madden 23 build, and I don't know, man. It's rough. Like you're an idiot if you want to start your franchise mode within the first week of Madden dropping out for Madden 24, because it's probably gonna be fucking broken. And like, what does that say to the state of the game? Like that could be, what you got to deal. I don't know, man. It sucks. That's how this video ends. Doesn't end with Andrew Luck winning MVP. Doesn't end with Andrew Luck leading the Washington Commanders to a Super Bowl title. This video ends with Madden crashing and me showing off my new Eagles gear. Pretty disappointed. So thank you guys very much for watching. Probably got to take a day off here. We'll be back for another rebuild. Hopefully it doesn't crash in a couple days. Thank you guys very much for sticking around. Hasn't been an easy year, but everyone that has been rocking with me, I very much appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.